our final speaker of the night. Anel Ruiz is the Managing Director of People Impact at United Airlines, proudly serving as one of the founding members of United's newest BRG, Somos. Anel has had a robust career in PR and communications, including service as press secretary for former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Anel lives in Chicago's Kenwood neighborhood with her husband and 2 sons, who she affectionately calls Tiny Giant and Tiny Danger. Ruiz is a foodie and an avid reader, an unapologetic news and politics junkie, and a pretend runner, which I can totally identify with. Let's hear it for Anel Ruiz. Boom.
Y'all cannot tell me Dolly Parton ain't Mexican. All right? We're going to start there, establishing some facts. It was early spring 2015. I hope I got that right. And I was in a sparkly dress in front of a 3-way mirror, doing me absolutely no favors. I'd called ahead just to be safe, and I told the bridal shop 2 very important things. First, Dolly Parton is my fashion icon, right? And she famously said, "It takes a lot of money to look this cheap." And I was gonna lean in. And then I took a really deep breath, and I collected myself. And I told them this. I said, I'm not coming with my mom. I'm not coming with any family. And you all cannot ask me about it, and you certainly cannot make me feel any kind of way about it. But I wasn't alone. I brought my chosen family. I brought an amazing group of women who helped me choose the perfect, most Dolly-inspired dress ever. Many of them are here tonight. They had no part in this, though. This is all me and Dolly. You see, as Mexicans, we anchor in familia. We take a lot of pride in our families. Except not all families look the same. Not all families feel the same. Mine didn't. You see, growing up in Mexico, my mom would sew a lot. She sewed a lot of not Dolly-inspired outfits for me, some pretty cool skirts that I wore very proudly. And I asked her once, I said, "Hey, Ma," something she loved. Every Mexican mom loves being called Ma. I said, "Hey, Ma, why do you like to sew so much?" And she said to me, "La pinche necesidad." And she always looked that mean, by the way. For the uninitiated, and I am so sorry for those that don't speak Spanish, that means expletive, underscored, expletive. I'll use the word damn, but it's probably harsher than that. It's a little spicier. The damn need. You see, growing up, la pinche necesidad, and we're all going to learn how to say it. La pinche necesidad was the temperature in the room. We didn't talk about it. It just was. It's how we made decisions. It's how we chose what we could do, what we couldn't do. It was just how we lived. It informed everything about how we moved. You see, she had a 3rd grade education. I have a 3rd grader today. And I think about, what if I unleashed, it's Tiny Giant, by the way. What if I unleashed Tiny Giant into the world with his 3rd grade education? What could he do? What couldn't he do? That's perspective. And that weighs on my chest every day. I make decisions based on that data. La pinche necesidad taught me something really important. It taught me a lot, but none of it could I ever gotten from a school, from a leadership course, not even YouTube or TikTok. It taught me that I didn't have the luxury of waiting to be chosen, that I didn't have the luxury to wait my turn, that I didn't have the luxury to be good enough. That's why I build everywhere I go. I'm a natural-born builder out of necessity. I build community, and most importantly, and y'all get ready for all the puns, I build the runway. That's just to warm you up. More are coming, more are coming. There's nothing more Mexicano than building community. You can hear us a mile away. We're the loudest, the happiest, because we're making friends. Because we're making you part of us. Because we're inviting you in. That is community. One thing that really strikes me about who we are as a people is the belief that donde come uno, comen dos, y a veces más. Again, for my uninitiated friends, where you can feed one, you can feed two, and often more. My path to aviation feels like a miracle. But what it really was pretty bumpy. There's a lot of turbulence. See, here they come. A whole lot of turbulence. A whole lot of U-turns. A whole lot of wrong paths. A few dead ends, and more than once, I asked myself, am I on the wrong plane? But those detours, that turbulence, all those bumps, they were really important data. They were really necessary for me to grow, for me to learn who I am. You see, for most folks, you get on that plane, and if you're really, really odd, you just stare at the flight map the whole time, right? You watch, it looks clean, it looks easy, like you're just gonna get there, and apparently you're never bored, so you just stare at that map. But those of us in the industry know that it takes a lot to get that metal tube in the air and get you to where you need to be safely and on time. The people that make that happen work behind the scenes. Those folks that make sure that you have your luggage where it needs to be, that you're cleared and ready for takeoff, that ground crew makes miracles happen every day. I am incredibly lucky to have a world-class ground crew behind me, in front of me, next to me, every single day. A chosen family. And I use that phrase deliberately. A family I chose, a family I built because I had to. A family I found because I walked into rooms where maybe I was the only one, maybe I was the first, and I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know what to do in those spaces. It was that chosen family and that ground crew that helped me. And here is the most radical thing I do every single day. It's a secret. I ask for help. I know that what I'm about to say is going to be real controversial, but I firmly believe that the thing that divides generally most Americans and Mexicans is fierce independence. That's not us. We're community. We live outside. We live in each other's business, and we love it. Asking for help is building community. Asking for help got me what no org chart, what no promotion, what no opportunity could. It bought me a network of belief. Because here's the other thing about me. I am scared all of the time in almost every situation I do. I do things scared every day. I'm up here terrified. I parent my children to say, you can be scared and brave at the same time. But really, I'm parenting myself to be scared and brave at the same time every day. And the reason I can be, thank you. And the reason I can be scared and brave at the same time, it's because of my chosen family. Because when my belief isn't sufficient, theirs is. When I don't have what it takes, they have it in spades, and they are more than happy to share it. In those quiet moments, when my voice gets really loud, theirs gets louder. Today, I am really, really fortunate to be a managing director at United Airlines. And here's the thing about that. I get to choose where I put my labor. And I get to put my labor into two really important things that I didn't think were possible. One is in early careers, in those first jobs that people get. I have an incredible team, many of whom are here, I think, that also wake up every morning knowing that the work that we do isn't just breaking generational barriers, isn't just transformative, but sometimes it's life-saving. Because when you give someone a really good job, you change the trajectory of their lives. And that is what we do every day. I also get to oversee the work of our business resource groups. Because what do we do best? We build community. Because it isn't enough to give someone a really good job. You have to give them the tools to succeed. You have to ensure that they feel like their voice matters. You have to make sure that they see themselves reflected in every single space. That is such a privilege. But I am also the daughter of a woman who only had terrible choices to make, whose options were extremely limited. And that isn't a contradiction. It just is what it is. It is the point. That necesidad didn't limit me. It really propelled me forward. That necesidad gave me a hunger, a fire in my belly that comfort could never do. It ensured I could see possibility in constraint. It is exactly what every leader wants and every leader needs. But what I want to say right now is I want to provide a word of caution. I'm not standing up here to say that you have to struggle, that struggle is the secret ingredient, because it's not. I want to be very clear. Struggle is not a prerequisite for success. Access is. I'm going to say it one more time. Struggle is not a prerequisite for success. Access is. And the real work that we get up and do with joy every single day, is the work to ensure that the next generation, that the person next to me, that the person behind me, the person even in front of me, does not see struggle as a way to succeed. I want to make sure that others do not have to build their runways from scratch. That's why that early career work matters so much to me. That's why it matters to the team that I get to work with. It's why our business resource groups are nothing short of magic. It's also why, when the sun sets on my career, one of the most proudest moments of my career will be to be a co-founder of United's first Latino business resource group, Somos. Because I know that maybe in this room, there's someone that isn't as comfortable as I am embarrassing themselves in front of many people. And they might be wondering, what if I'm failing? What if I'm on the wrong path? What if I'm not gonna make it? What if they're just trying to figure it out? So I want to say 3 things to those people. 1, la pinche necesidad, that's what it was for me. For you, it might be something else. It might be turbulence. It might be a bump. It might be a whole lot of ick. Whatever it is, it's your fuel. Use it to propel you forward. Build your crew. Find the people that champion you, that get you there, and then stay with you. And ask for help. That is a game changer. And when you're stuck looking around, thinking, where am I going? I don't know what the path forward is. Where is my runway? The reality is you're probably standing on it. You're probably building it as you're going. Literally building the plane as you're flying it, guys. Because let me tell you something. Belonging isn't something that's handed to you. Belonging is something you claim. Belonging is something you build. Because where you started, who you are, what you look like, that isn't the final word. You have the final word. And so now let's fast forward to June of 2015. We've gone from early spring to a balmy summer. And I'm standing in the most perfect Dali-inspired dress, except now it's drenched because it rained. And the bottom is filthy because we danced. And we're surrounded by 75 of our closest crew members, our chosen family. And I have the unique, most beautiful privilege of marrying the love of my life. And it is the celebration of love, but it's also a celebration of the community we've built. It's a celebration of the runway that we're building for ourselves, but for our family too. And so when I think about what I want everyone here to walk away with, it's this. Always be building. Build comunidad, build access, build rooms that don't exist. Build opportunity. Build it for you, but most importantly, build it so that others don't have to. Buenas noches. Gracias.